Are we on? Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with season five of our season seven. Sorry, season seven of our ACC league. We are here in round five in Silverstone. I will be your streamer. This is me, Dan, the SSG assassin. Sir, SSG assassin. Now, behind the camera work for today. Unfortunately, we don't have any commentators in the com box right now because of real life commitments. So it will be a silent stream for the most part. So yeah, stay tuned in. The action will still be there.
Good evenings. And
Oh, never mind. Hi, couple. Was
we've
surprised.
got the entire Bangalore pack here to join you for commentating.
Thank you. If that's the case, then I will enable the stream. Just give me a second. I'm having some technical difficulties.
Can we comment it in the background?
Please, we are commentating.
No, but then
For that, we need to connect once.
you can, but no.
But it's fine. But it's fine. We improvise.
I don't know if it's the photo or a capture.
Are we live, Dan?
Yes, we are live, Kapil. Live.
Ready. So what's the situation with qualifying? We got Shan 70. No, that's Myth. You know, Shan also heading out for some grass finding. Grass. No.
Actually, it's good to see Myth back, and he's back after a long break. So it's nice to see him back in the ACC circuit again.
Yeah, nice to have you also back in the com box, Deepak.
There are
And
many more folks here in the background, so you will see us come in and out as we see fit.
yep, our boys are having a fun-filled house party in Bangalore. At Kapil
Unfortunately,
we
without you.
Yeah, unfortunately I have a broken leg. Not broken, but yeah, not
Is
working.
it a broken leg or something? What's going on?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't catch that. What did you? Can you repeat,
Is
please?
this a broken leg season?
Oh, well, no, not exactly. Maybe. Does anybody has anybody else broken their legs apart from Nirma and myself? Nirma's lost his leg entirely.
Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh,
All right, so we are on with Davli Singh, who is continuing his dominating streak.
he's
Like what we just saw in F1 some time back at Verstappen, just absolutely taking the pole. Although it was a close contest, I'm hoping for a close contest here. But let's see what kind of lap Davli is going to be putting up again. I can already see he's put up a lap time 57.9,
he's
and
improving his on his time by almost 4 tenths. So we
there it
expect him
is.
to go into the mid 57s. It's 5 tenths now. Yep, it will be 5 tenths. Yes. Close to it,
Well, thankfully the
actually.
FA are not pivoting this, else that would have been a track cut for the Bleach. But anyway, he crosses the line and it's a 57.4.
57.4. It's an insane lap considering what I've been seeing in the practice session for the last time, half an hour. I think the drivers are barely managing to scrape through into the. Oh, there we go. Some grass cutting going on here. Interestingly, his car is also colored green. Oh, It's green, white,
Yeah,
and
well, he has gone
orange.
for the tricolor livery, which
Yeah.
kind of looks good. Not gonna lie, the matte black does complement the whole color scheme. So that's a decent livery, I would say. We do have some interesting liveries, and thankfully we've loaded them all. So yeah, should be having a good look before the race starts. Then.
Yeah, you're welcome there. Welcome for that, Deepak. Yeah, and also apologies to all the driver the grid for not for me not loading in the liveries last time. But fret not, this time I got it all fixed. Handled. As we can see the GTR of Iceman, Simply Whitey, making his way through the first corner of the F1 layout. I don't know which turn number this is though.
Well, yeah, that's a very interesting livery, to say the least. And yeah, and it's quite surprising. He's still stuck with the Nissan with the gamepad. It's quite a tough car to control, but he's going on with that. And it's almost just 2 minutes left. We still are yet to see a lot of times come in. We're just seeing some very slow banker laps. I think people are still struggling with some track limits and stuff like that. So probably this will be the last attempt for them to make a proper valid laps, I would say.
Yep. If you know the lap times of the drivers stay like the way they are. Oh, looks like Davlish has had an incident somewhere, or maybe he's just. Oh, he's improved on his time by further two
Yep.
tenths. So 1 second almost off of PT. Sai Prithvi, who's currently not improving. 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, he's lifted off. I think he's aborted his lap. Could go on
Yep.
board with Prakhar Vats, who's I think making his way into the
I think he's
yeah.
just starting his lap. So he's just starting his lap. This could be his last flyer, given that it's just 1 minute left. So this should be a very important lap for him. Let's see how it goes. And of course, I don't have access to data, so SSJ just let us know how the sectors are looking.
Well, so far not improving by much. 5 tenths, 6 tenths, gradually reducing that second one time. Well, yeah, it's looking good. And I mean, if you compare it to someone like Davish, that's nothing. But yeah, Prakhar is improving on his previous time. He's closing in on the second one line. Makes his way through. I think this is.
Well, it happens to the best of us. So yeah, let's see how they takes the next few sequence of corners. It's very important to get the exit right out of this village section, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what kind of lines he's going to take.
It looks like, I mean, I don't know, I'm not too familiar with this game. It looked like he went really wide into that right hand over there. Maybe compromised his line, but yeah, so far he looks to be improving. Is almost up by 4 tenths on his previous time. Looks like he's made a fairly decent thing of the last corner. But yeah, come closest in on the finish line and he improves on his time by 4 tenths. He's set of 157, still a second off of Davlish. I'm sorry, he set a 158.3.
Yeah, that is 1 second off. Although I think he would be a bit disappointed with himself that he couldn't close the lap time, but I'm pretty sure there was some more time left on the table for him. And interestingly, Myth has not set a lap time yet, so gonna be from the back of the pack for him.
Looks like it. I mean, yeah. Let's not forget that he's coming back to IRC after such a long time. I think midway through the last season he came, drove for I think 3 races, and then he dipped. So yeah, sort of a comeback race of sorts. Maybe he just wants to have some fun while he's at it, because we know what caliber of driver it is. Um, he's probably looking to knife his way through the field. It's
Yeah, fast drivers starting from the back of the pack. It's not always a good thing because we've got quite a big spread here, and that could provide a lot of incidents or entertainment. Let's see what kind of the action you're going to see. So, yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing?
hello itself. Good to have you back as well.
Yeah, good to be
But
here. Having fun so far in quali.
which quali are we talking about?
ACC quali, of course. It's been entertaining to watch everyone go around and interesting to note about Amit as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, after coming back from an extended period away from the game, it's going to be interesting to see how he copes, especially with the new update as well, which is had such a huge impact on car performance, setup, etc. But yeah, at the end of qualifying, a regular trend now, Davlish at the top of the timing sheets, although by a larger margin than he would have imagined over Sai Prithvi. And Worship the Panda towards the end there has pushed Prakavach down to P4. So interesting development there. That's two Porsches lining up in the front three. So that's going to be an interesting battle to look forward to as well. Oshan, Kanak, Baldy, not too far behind. Really good quality from Baldy there, especially considering he's in the AM class as well. So a really good performance from him. Red Devils, Starmax, a flying chapati, all rounding off the top 10. And it's going to be quite a scrap in the midfield. But if there's anything I've seen, Silverstone always throws up an interesting battle in midfield.
Yep, I mean, it's a good circuit to race and overtake. You have multiple lines, you have switchback options. Everything is available in this circuit, which is why I'm kind of regretting not being able to race today. But yeah, I would always, like Asil says, Silverstone always provides some good racing action. So let's see how it all goes.
Yeah, just getting a look at the tail end of the grid here from P10 onwards. Not a great lap there from a silver driver down the order. Oh, that's fine.
I think that was even Senna 46. It's quite weird to see him because he has been putting up some interesting performances in the last few rounds, and I think he might have had some issues with the quali or joined in late, whatever it is. He's also starting from the back, so quite a lot of work for them to do in this race one.
Funnily enough, he's not even attempted a lap. You can see, I mean, the lap count here for all the drivers. At least Mith and Nirma have done 2 laps at least. This Senna, I don't think he's. Yeah, he was probably AFK. That's the best.
Probably might
reason.
have joined late, I assume.
Yep.
On the other side of the spectrum, you got Oshan, who's in the midst of all pro cars. A fantastic qualifying performance. It's just at 35.
I wonder who that is.
Talking to us from beyond the depths, yes. We'll ignore the voice in our heads for now. But with almost 2 minutes left to go, the drivers must be itching to go. Everyone's got their setups loaded. This is the typical format, so it's going to be 20 followed by a 30-minute race. So even if you don't have the opportunities in race 1, you'll definitely have so in race 2. Of course, with the length of the race, you won't have to change tires, so drivers will mostly just be fighting for attrition out on track. Just it's going to be pure pace. But at the same time, Silverstone is one of those tracks that really puts a lot of emphasis on maintaining the tires on the left as well, because they heat up quite a lot and they can degrade prematurely if you don't take care of them. So it's going to be quite important for them to take care of those left-hand side tires, or you might see drivers understeering, especially into Stowe, which is an important corner in Sector 1. So yeah, a big task ahead for some of these drivers, but Silverstone always, as we said earlier, throws up a curveball. So we could see this order shuffle around a lot before the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, gotta agree. Front lift definitely takes a lot of punishment. I do remember one race where I did with Aston Martin, and the front lift was literally begging for mercy by the time I ended the race. So yeah, the left tires are gonna be in for a very long punishment today.
Yeah, definitely. It plays more of a role in the endurance race where you have to maintain the tires at least for an hour and 15 minutes, almost 90 minutes in some cases. But of course, the lower length of the race could help the racing action a little bit. People might just push the tires that little bit more, try to extract that little bit more performance out of the car. And we've got such a equal spread of cars as well. It's not just one manufacturer dominating the grid as we saw. We saw a lot of Ferraris at the beginning of the season, but that's split up a lot now. We've got more Mercedes, we've got more McLarens as well coming in. So yeah, with not much time left on the board, let's get underway as the drivers will engage their ignitions and get the cars rolling in order for the rolling start procedure to begin as Davlis leads the grid away towards towards the start finish straight and towards turn one. Cops will be an interesting corner for turn one, definitely a lot more difficult than Abbey, which is the F1 turn one. So Davlis leading the pack away with Sai Tarun versus the Panda hot on his heels as we go.
Any moment now.
Any moment now.
And
There we go, green. And Davlis gets a good start. It seems like Panda does as well. Is able to cover off Prakhar Vats. He's also able to put a little bit of pressure on the inside of as one person sends the track limits cone flying there at Cops. That won't be well received by those at the back. But Davlis has got a clean start. So has everyone in the top five. There seems to be a little bit of position shuffling going on. It seems like Oshan has dropped a little bit off Prakhar there on the start, and he's instantly being pressured by FIFA Kanak from behind. And meanwhile, up ahead, it seems like there's the carnage at the back, but it seemed like that was Panda putting pressure on Sai Prithvi for P3. Yes, it is Prakhar having to defend from the Porsche behind. It's a little bit all over the place right now. In the midst of all this, Davli Singh has gotten a clean getaway. Prakhar has to run wide into Stowe as they come into the Vale chicane. Still side by side in some cases, but they will have to jostle for space now. It is quite tight through there, especially for these larger GT cars, and they all seem to filter out pretty well. They've sorted out the order a little bit now, and this will give the drivers a little bit of a chance to breathe and kind of assess where they are, and then kind of evaluate how they move forward in the race. As we're seeing Starmax putting a lot of pressure on Kanak as well, who just a second ago was putting so much pressure on the Porsche up ahead of Oshan, but now he's dropped back a little bit. And actually, Starmax has gotten a fantastic start there. He's actually jumped his endurance teammate Baldy, who's in the AM class, but he's managed to jump him. So good start there from Ashrik. We'll try to look to capitalize on this. But what do you think of that start, Deepak? It was spicy, but everybody kept it clean. They tried to. It's a long race.
Yeah, certainly. They did keep it clean, and of course, Davlis got his dream launch. Guy said behind was scrapping, and Davlis was like, keep doing it, lads, and I'll just head out of here. So that's what he did. And behind, we did see a few collisions. There was one Aston Martin that had a little bit of collision, and we didn't get to see of what happened after that. And I think there were a few cars were stranded, and we see the after effect of that crash. That BMW looks extremely broken up, and I think that's the BMW of Shan 7. Yep, that looks to have taken a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, not ideal for the BMW driver there. It's a car that's very, very front aero dependent as well at a track like this, which is so crucial to have front aero as well because of all the front end limited corners. It's going to be a tough drive for him, especially if he keeps going. There's the interesting livery there of Simply YT as he goes 2 miles wide at Cops Corner. That's the best form of racing line that you can take there. There's a McLaren off in the back there. That is a flying chapati. Not sure what's happened there to him. He's joined in an interesting manner, but it was clear air in front and behind him. But he's now immediately under pressure from Purra with a damaged car and hot tires. This will not be what he's expecting at this. Simply taking an expedition onto the grass there in the background as Purra tries to make a move down the inside, going into Stowe corner. The outside line would actually be more preferable to defend, but he makes it work in the end. Flying Chapati is able to put up a little bit of a defense, but ultimately has to cede the position. It might be due to the fact that his tires are very hot after that spin as well. So Purrav has got the position done, but for how long? He moves up into P17 as Amit. What a start he's had after starting almost last. I think he started basically in front of Senna 46. Yeah, and he's moved up into P11 and putting pressure on Banat going into sector 3. That is a late send. Definitely going into the snail section. It's a difficult place to get an overtake done, especially with the various lines that you can take. We definitely saw Sergio Perez interpreting track limits interestingly there, but none of that business from Amit as he gets the move done cleanly. Definitely caught Banat napping there.
Yep, I'm pretty sure Banat did not expect that and he was just moving out of the way. That was a very late move, but yeah, made it stick. As long as make it stick, I mean, who's gonna care? So yeah, that's another position gain for him, and like Ace will point out, interesting. A very late send, and how did they not collide there? They are still going side by side, and it's resolved finally. Purragoda gets the position, but that was very close for comfort.
Purra was sending it. He's the man on a mission today. It started somewhere at the back, not had an ideal qualifying session, probably chose to qualify a little further at the back to make the race a little bit more interesting for him. He hasn't been present in the silver class or the pro class battle, and won't really have much steadying going into the second half of the season, but he's looking to make it a fun race for himself at least. Moves up another position too in the span of just a few sectors there for him. Prakhar has slipped back a little bit as Panda slips onto the grass now. That will give Prakhar a better run, but will he try to hazard that move down into Stowe, up the middle, down the inside is going to be a little difficult for him. He tries it briefly, has a look, but has to stick behind. It actually compromises his line slightly and puts him off the slipstream. Might get him a warning there as well as he strays over track limits. Might just have kept it within a hair's length. But yeah, great battling, a lot of pressure being put on Panda as well. And in the midst of all this, Oshan has moved up into P3. We didn't notice that happening at all.
We did not notice that. So yeah, definitely there is something being going on, and as we see, Panda did make a mistake there, and Prakhar tried to capitalize it, just showing his car in the review on the entry, but like Ethel just pointed out, that really ruined his entry there. And wait, did we see a car going off in the back? I think I noticed something funny in the back, but I guess it's just my eyes playing some tricks. Anyway, we stick on with Prakhar, who is still putting on some pressure right now. Panda seems to have got the measure of him, but for how long, that we're gonna have to see.
I know I did mention earlier that there were a nice mix of cars, but there are 4 Porsches fighting it out in the top 6. So for
Here comes
apologies,
another move.
yeah, apologies if we get confused between the Porsches. There was a switchback opportunity, and he does seize the switchback opportunity. That's coming through the snail section. Whoa, what a move by Pururav, hustling that Bentley past the new Ferrari. What are BOPs? They don't exist. They're open to interpretation. Look at that Bentley 2018 car, absolutely showing the new boys how it's done. That space right there, that's a lot of potential for Pururav to pick up some important points. He's got quite a few positions up ahead of him, but he does have 15 minutes in this race as well as a 30-minute race after this. So a lot of time for him to get up into the top 10, maybe even give a fight to those boys up ahead. But brilliant move there. This is Aladdin trying to mount a move there on Swagger Turbo. Stowe, not a place I try a move, especially in a twitchy car like the Porsche, where if you look at it wrong, it spins. So you definitely want to try to minimize the number of opportunities like that. But that's Panda going very slowly.
Again, the same mistake. Same mistake on the exit of Magnussen Beckett's.
I thought for a second he'd fueled up his car for qualifying and come out onto the race. That would not have been ideal, but it has happened before in IRC from drivers in the league. But that's not the case. Just seems to be struggling at the tail end of that Chapel exit onto the Wellington Straight. No, it is the Wellington Straight. Yes, sorry, got my straights confused there. And that's I'm a myth trying to go down the inside of Baldy. Well defended by Baldy, actually. It seemed like he moved under braking, but he was just positioning his car perfectly there. And that Sun Racing livery will definitely be throwing off Amit. He has to look at that fire emoji right ahead of him. He has to stare at the back of that AMG for a few more corners. Not really many opportunities here. That AMG not able to carry the same amount of minimum apex speed as Amit is able to, as he really get a chance into F1 turn 2. He does go for it around the outside. That's going to be Audacious's the wide. Mercedes pushes him wide, but then Amit is able to get the move done. The wily Porsche gets it through. It's a very agile car. Then Amit is definitely showing Baldy that he can.
But he's got to watch out now. He's got to watch out now. Baldy just got a very good switchback exit, but will that straight line come in clutch? I mean, we do know that the new Porsche is handy on the straights. They're side by side into the entry of this corner, but Amit does hold the inside line, and that battle is resolved for now.
Absolutely, Amit using all the experience that he's gained in real life as a racing driver as well. In game, knows how to position the car correctly. Definitely all that experience coming from same make series is what I was going to say. But yeah, it is the same make series. But this isn't the same make series. They all have different cars, so it doesn't matter. But he did defend well there from Baldy, right, correct.
And
Thank
here
you,
we go, round
Voice
two,
of
Aladdin
the
versus Swagger Turbo. Once again, pokes his nose on the inside, tries to scare out Swagger Turbo. And also point to note, Swagger Turbo is racing on a controller. So it's a very audacious place to attempt to move on. I mean, even if both the drivers are driving on a wheel with position control, it still is a very tough corner to go. But I don't know why Aladdin is still poking his nose into a very tough corner, considering that the other driver is on let's say, a less refined input device, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering that fact, Deepak, he's been doing so well this season, especially at Laguna Seca, overcame a lot of damage to get a lot of points as well. And that hopefully gets.
We see another overtake. Oh, that's Aladdin just making it with Swagger Turbo. They're going side by side through Stowe, and oh,
it looked like he had tapped him for a second there, but he didn't. Aladdin trying every move in the book to try and get past Swagger. Will he try to time down?
Oh, he's sending it. Oh.
Swagger defended it though. I feel like Aladdin might have left it too late to come side by side, and that leaves the door open for Purav Gada to swoop through. Through goes Hamilton moment right there. Although he hasn't gained 2 positions, he's gained just 1. But what a move there from Purav. Just made the most of an unfortunate situation for Aladdin, who, in an ambition to go for 1 position, has lost a position.
Yep.
So it's the long game, not the short game, definitely.
Oh, Aladdin extending it. Sends Purura wide, and now he has the outside line. Will be going for the switchback. But what kind of exit will he be getting compared to the Bentley, who's going to be in the slipstream of Swagger Turbo? And he's poking his nose on the inside and pushes Swagger Turbo almost off the track. Wow. They're still not cleared yet.
Well. Tell you what, though, it was helped a little bit there, Purra, by the fact.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
Swagger didn't get optimum exit there onto the Brooklyn straight, but unfortunately that battle comes to a premature end as Aladdin tries to make a move down the inside, taps Swagger Turbo, and that was really looking good. But actually, Aladdin came off worse from that than Swagger did. He tried to make the move and once again didn't work out for him.
Yeah, Aladdin, I don't know why he was a bit scrappy through the battle. Like in the store when he was trying to make the move on Swagger Turbo, I felt like he gave him too much space and then tried to poke his nose in a very late manner and he couldn't stick it. And we see a McLaren trying to make a move on Aston Martin on the entry of Brooklyn's. Oh wait, no, that's Maggots. Yep. They're still going side by side. It's a very tough place to be side by side with Andy, side by side with Faizan, and they're still. Oh, that was very close for contact.
Faizan's left him just about enough space there, but they managed to get through in one piece. Great racing from both of them as they head underneath the bridge onto the hangar straight. Tell you what, though, that Aston, for not having much turbo on acceleration, it is a monster in a straight line. And you definitely see that there as he powers past the McLaren. But unfortunately, the front engine car understeers into store. That leaves the door open for Flying Chapati, who now has the outside line going into the Vale chicane. Faizan, with no intention of giving the position up, covers the inside wholly and truly, but unfortunately leaves the door open for the switchback. They are almost side by side going through the F1 final corner, if you will, as they come out onto the Sir Hamilton straight, as heading down into Stowe. The battle still isn't over. Tell you what, though, them battling would also allow Mamu to get a nose in.
Oh, that was very close for comfort there. Flying Chapati having to take some avoiding action to avoid hitting Faizan's car. That would have really unsettled him, and good for him to holding it.
Yeah, that McLaren is very, very twitchy mid-corner, unlike the previous one, which had so much medium speed stability. This one just feels a little on edge sometimes. Definitely when you have a car that's going 10, 15 kilometers an hour slower, it's definitely going to have an impact. He does still have the slipstream though, so it's not long before we see that battle come up again. 2 silver class drivers battling it out. Faizan as well has done well. He's started P18, P19, and he's come up. He's gone a little deep into Brooklyn's though as they come through Luffield. He's gone wide again. That allows Flying Chapati to go it down the inside. They're both side by side on exit coming through the final corner. Faizan hung on the outside. What a move.
Well, you gotta notice that the McLaren Flying Chapati is really broken up, and a broken McLaren, it's very ineffective with its aero. So it clearly shows that he's struggling for mid-corner grip because he got a good switchback line. He should have easily got the move there, but again, I think he's just struggling to get that damaged car through.
Tell you what though, he's putting on a valiant effort even with the damaged car, as Panda is putting on a valiant effort trying to defend against Kanak, but he seemed like
he lost it already.
That Porsche is all over the place. Panda clearly having done something not optimal with the setup. That car is all kinds of sideways on corner entry, on corner exit, just doesn't look stable, but he's still powering it through the corners. That's the experience that Panda has in ACC. This is what is 6th or 7th season now. Is really showing us that even though the car may not be optimal on the day, you can still get a good result here. And he's definitely putting up a fight, although that Porsche is definitely putting up a fight against him. He would not want that. And that's an interesting rejoin there onto the racing line. But luckily no one's behind him.
He's a very mini moment there.
Tell you what though, Amit is not that far off after starting almost last. He's almost up to the the front pack. Apart from Davlish, they're all separated by just a few seconds. Speaking of Davlish, he has checked out. So we'll keep an eye on this battle right now, which Amit might soon get involved in as well. Maybe even Baldy if they all decide to step on each other's toes. This is turning out to be a really spicy race, especially in the mid-pack, if not for the leaders.
Yeah, up ahead, even Prakhar has closed up to Oshan. They're almost within striking distance, and it's going to be interesting. Prakhar is going to be wishing for some mistake from Oshan so that he could just bounce immediately. So, but again, the Porsche up ahead, it's going to be very quick through the corners. That's something you're going to be very careful about. So his chances will be on the braking zone at the end of this Wellington straight.
And tell you what, the 992 as well is buffed in terms of top speed, as you mentioned earlier. So, assuming Oshan gets a really good exit out of Chapel, it's going to be hard to catch that portion in a straight line as well. So, Prakhar really has to be on his tail, and he's putting the pressure. He's sideways almost through Chapel, but gets a much better exit than Oshan. But that flat 6 just takes it beyond the reach of the McLaren. He's weaving, he's moving, he's allowed to do that. He can only make the last change in direction when Prakhar is right behind him, which he isn't, and he hugs the inside. Tell you what, after racing wheel to wheel with Oshan, he's very good at defending, knows exactly where to place the car, does get a little bit angsty sometimes in terms of defending, but that is completely alright, totally within the rules as well to do that. So it's just hard door-to-door racing, something that GT cars allow over open wheelers, which are so fragile these days. But yeah, Prakhar really putting the pressure there on Oshan with 5 minutes left, 2 or 3 laps remaining, depending upon what kind of mood Davlish is in today. If he goes really fast, we get 3 laps more. If he decides to hold off and chill, we get 2 laps more. So yeah, depending upon how Davlish races, we will get 3 or 2 more laps, which means, well, how many ever laps Oshan has to defend from what could be an angry Prakhar. But
And we see Puravagoda making another move. This is on Banat, I presume. Oh, what happened? That looked a very weird crash over. That looked a very weird loss of control over there. Looked like a classic case of overcompensation. I think he just corrected the car a little too much, and his car goes off, and Banat just carries on in his own way. And oh, that's a very risky rejoin. Might be coming under the steward's view, but we'll
that's
see
why
that
it goes
later.
very, very deep into the tail section there. Definitely did not anticipate Purav rejoining in that way. And tell you what, though, he has that chunky Bentley in his rearview mirrors again, in the same spot where he overtook just a few laps ago. So not ideal for Swagger, who's overtaken him, yes, but for how long will he stay ahead? That is Flying Chapati putting more pressure on Faizan. They're back to battling after a few laps earlier when Faizan defended well, and the gap sort of increased between the two of them. This is Flying Chapati trying down the inside of Brooklyn's, a little too far back to make the move. So Faizan keeps the position all over that green AstroTurf on the inside, completely fine by track limits. This is Purav Gowda and Swagger once again fighting through the last corner. You can cut a lot of that last corner as Purav does there. Swagger taking a very wide line, and this will be a corner that's very, very difficult for the controller player, especially because it's a lot of fine inputs required as we go on board Prakhar and Oshan, who are side by side through Stowe corner. Will they make it out? They make it out.
And Prakhar still hanging around the outside. He's got the outside line. Oshan is trying to squeeze him, but gives him just enough space, just enough respect. Now he has the inside line through the club chicane. And oh, that's a little contact, but he still goes on. Oshan is off the track. And that was very close. He's still hanging on to it. FIFA gonna giving him just enough respect,
That is
just
Oshan.
enough space. And I think Oshan has gone ahead. I think Oshan has just cut and gone ahead.
That might not be something the stewards will look at in the future, or look at, they will frown upon that in the future. They will see that as a competitive advantage gain. Tell you what, though, one person who has gained a competitive advantage is Kanak because of this battle. He's now slotted himself. What's happened there? 3 cars combine into the snail section. That's not gone well at all. And that's worse of the Pandas come out worst out of all of that. Caught him in a fight which wasn't even his to begin with.
I was just about to point out the car behind us catching at them at an astronomical rate, and they all compressed together, and that was not going to end well, and Panda came out worse. And now he's under pressure from Baldy, although he has been in a good form. Let's see if we can have a little look on Panda, although I do think Panda will be running away from this.
They'll try to get out of Dodge as quickly as possible after that incident, especially. This has been a breathless race so far. And it's been full of action, and as I said, the grid was going to be shuffled up a lot. Silverstone has that effect, and it's definitely happening. Oh, and because of that little...
We see this again. FIFA Kanak and Oshan going at each other right behind on the entry of Magus and Beckett again. This is going to be putting a little bit of damper, but again, oh, that's very close. So I thought almost there was going to be another incident there. And Oshan just hugging the inside line there, just trying to maximize the exit here. And that Lamborghini does have a good straight line. Will he be able to do that? He is sticking onto the outside. He look to the inside. Nope, he just stays on to this side. Oh, and he switches to the last minute, and Oshan just blocks it off. That was borderline, but still a very good defending, I would say.
Yeah, held his line, showed no quarter to FIFA Kanak, who tried to deceive him at the last minute, but just held that inside tightly enough to prevent the Lamborghini from just slotting down the inside. And tell you what, that compromised line has allowed Amit of all people
Let
to
me
cut
point
it.
you out something. Prakhar has got a DT.
Oh, that's unfortunate for the McLaren driver, who just a few laps ago was in contention for the podium. But that is unfortunate for him. 30 seconds will be added on after the race if he chooses not to serve it, which he most probably will do. So, as this is Amit challenging for a podium position, he tries to go down the inside of FIFA Kanak. This is going to be a move for P3 after pretty much starting last. He gets a little bit of oversteer. The Porsche twitchy on exit there and in the mid corner as well, but he's managed to hold it well and stay ahead of FIFA Kanak to take P4. My apologies. There was a fight for P4, not P3. That has allowed Oshan a little bit of breathing room up ahead as Davlesh will cross the line again. So this won't be the last lap. They will go for one more lap after this. Ooh, that's a little bit sketchy on track limits there, but I don't think it matters really unless he's got 3 warnings. He's going to be sending it with the intention of getting the win, and he's 9.2 seconds clear. So there's going to be all the chances that he's going to get the win here in this first race. As Prakhar serves his DT, where will this put him for the starting order in the second race? He might be even out of the top 10 due to how competitive this race has been. So it could be curtains for him, especially with the chaos that happens mid-pack, especially on race start. He might find himself...
He's closed up to Oshan already. Myth is already on the bumper of Oshan's car, and we see the car is being hustled through in the middle of the corner, and FIFA Kanak seems to have gotten a better exit. He's coming at Myth right now. Once again, the same thing is going to happen. He's got a good exit. He's going to poke the nose on the inside. He's got the inside line now. What will Myth trying to do? Is he going to hang on the outside? He does do that, and he is going to have the inside line now, and he also goes off track a little bit. That could be a bit on the track limit side of things, but still he holds on to the position. So I think it's all fair. It's all good.
Well, ultimately, he was ahead when he went off track, so it's not really gaining an advantage, and he's not really gained a lasting advantage either. So it might just be something the stewards look at, but ultimately overlook. But not quite over yet. It could still end very, very differently.
Oh, that's an interesting line from Myth. He almost cut the grass there, but yeah, it seemed to have slightly worked for him. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that's a very interesting line.
Generally, the advice going through Abbey is to cut the green, but not the grass on the inside as well. But that's what Amit has done there, as they all get way too close for comfort. That is Oshan up ahead, who's not had a brilliant last lap of the race. He's lost quite a bit of time. The battle that these two had on the previous lap should have been enough to have enough breathing room over the other two to finish comfortably in P3, but he's left a little bit too much on the plate, and it might be gobbled up here by Amit and FIFA Kanak. They're right behind, they're prowling. There is still another race remaining, but it could be all to play for Amit here, especially after that amazing comeback drive. He's shown the great amount of pace. Davlesh crosses the line in P1. Sai Prithvi crosses the line in P2. Oshan in P3. And Amit, of all people, in P4. Not because he doesn't deserve it, but because that is one of the best drives I have seen, from almost last on the grid, fighting his way through. Is nothing short of a miracle, and he's still got another 30-minute race to catch those ahead of him, so it might be something to keep an eye out for. Banat finishes P10. Panda ultimately finishes P9, and what will be a disappointing result for him, especially considering where he started. And Faizan drops back a little as well. He's lost positions to Sana 46 and Flying Squad.
That's a very, very bad rejoin from Mamuk Admi. I think he was just coming back onto the track and they just got out the Aston Martin. That's not going to be well received by the stewards, I would say.
Yeah, and he's lost a few positions as well to that's washing powder Nirma. I didn't even notice he was in the race today, making a comeback after an extended period of absence away from sim racing. And he's gotten a strong result as well. A P19 in the McLaren, so an all-pink car. That's showing his support there.
Wondering how is he on the grid? He's going overtime with whatever resources he has available.
Yeah, his systems must be running at maximum capacity right now, as we cross the line. There's very few drivers left to cross the line. That's Iceman is the final driver, P21, and that's interesting livery choice there. That's some familiar IRC faces. We won't mention who it is, but you can go onto our Discord and have a look for yourself, is what we will say, as Iceman crosses the line, P21, and that's going to be the final finishing position. There were a few non-finishers, of course. One of the McLarens and the BMW of Shansan as well, who had quite a lot of damage. But yeah, very, very eventful first race here at Silverstone, Deepak.
Yeah, that was certainly quite entertaining, and we just joined in hoping to have a good race, and that is exactly what we had. So yeah, that was a really interesting race from Myth as well. Man came from all the way almost to the last two, almost nabbing the podium away from Oshan. So
Yep.
that was a very, very interesting race from him, and also from Pururav Gowda as well. So he made some very interesting moves, some very aggressive moves that he made stick. So quite interesting. So again, I just wanted to point out the time that this is just race one, 20-minute race. We've got another 30-minute race coming up, which the starting order is going to be determined by the finishing order of this race. So I think we're going to see a lot more battles according to their pace this time around. So it could be even more of a closer fight, I would say.
Yeah, there's even more fast drivers up ahead now. The grid has sort of sorted itself out, allowing the faster drivers to be more at the front in this first race. So we might see more contention for those podium places, and more, maybe even a different contender for the win. We've seen all doubly Singh monopoly this season so far, but maybe it could be someone else taking the top step of the podium in the
I would
second
say
race.
that is still a bit of a fast shot. I would say still our drivers have a bit of, let's say, a bit more of time to catch up to Davli because he's just on another level right now. But yeah, we have seen some drivers given some competition like Myth and Masum, and he's also not available right now. But I think we'll also be seeing Masum on the grid pretty soon. What do you think of that?
Yep, give it another few races and we'll see one of our ex-champions come back and return to the grid. Maybe finally some competition for Davlish Singh at the front. But your final finishing order for race one, Davlish in P1, Sai Prithvi in P2, Oshan in P3, Amit with a great comeback drive from almost back of the grid to P4, Kanak P5, Baldy as well with an incredible result, P6 for the AM driver. Let's overlook the fact that Amit is an AM for now. That might be a little bit of a class mistake, but he might be moved up to pro in the future. But Baldy, an incredible performance there from an AM driver. Red Devil, Star Max, Panda, and Banat round off the top 10. Panda will be disappointed with his race as well. Purrav Prakar, after serving his DT, finishes P12. Swagger Turbo, Flying Chapati, Senna 46 after starting last. Faizan, Turbochuk, Supreme Kai, Washing Pot and Nirma, and Mawa Kazmi round off the top 10. Iceman was the final finishing driver, and I believe everyone after that, unfortunately, did not make the flag in race one. But there is 30 minutes left for them to hopefully salvage something from race two.
Yep. So we do see some non-finishers like Raut, Shoshank, Shan, and Aladdin who are just retired, even Fuzzy Dunlop for that matter. So yeah, they'll be definitely looking for the second race and they'll definitely be looking forward for that. So right now, the coordinators will be setting up the second server and we'll be back with the second race. Stay tuned. All right. Thanks for sticking around with us. And if you're stuck around with us this time, then yeah, that's really great. So we are on course to start the race too, and we are on the grid waiting for the timer to run out, waiting for the guys to set up their cars because of course it's a server reset. So this is another instance of server, so people have to set up their cars once again. And this is a 30-minute race, so they've got to remember to fuel up appropriately as well because fuel up less, and that's gonna be a very quick end to your race. We do see a few cars missing on the grid. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was muted. I was saying something. Yeah, but yeah, we have I think five drivers missing from the grid. Not really sure who. I think. Oh, damn, Myth is missing. Myth
Oh,
is not there. Faizan just. Okay. There are drivers dropping in and out of the grid. So I think yeah, people the drivers are experiencing difficulties, technical difficulties. Hopefully that's just
I hope it's not on the server side of things because it might take a few minutes to restart, but I really hope it's not anything of that
even.
sort. So yeah, I mean, some cards missing will definitely prompt some reshuffle on the start. So I just hope that doesn't cause any chaos on the race start. But so far it looks good. And this promotes the drivers a few positions up ahead. Baldy, who was in P6 or P7 or something, he's up P5 now. So very solid start for him.
Yeah, two drivers missing the top 10 itself because I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Banat finish P10. Now he's up in P8. So two drivers there. Someone else,
Yeah,
including
one
Myth.
is of course Smith, and other one not really sure. Not really sure who the other one was.
Panda finish. Oh, I think the race session has started because yeah, the timer has run out. Yeah, the drivers are on their way. Let me just this. So yeah, drivers have initiated the starting procedures, warming up their tires, waiting to pass the lights. That's not the starting line, unfortunately. We'll have to wait for a bit longer as Davlish crosses
Green
the
light,
start line.
go again.
Green lights, green flags are off. Drivers are ready to go, and we've already got drivers going 3 wide at the start line. Fortunately enough, we have a clean start this time around. Oh,
Oh,
as I
what
said,
else did I
I
say?
jinxed it really hard, and
Oh,
oh,
you started
Trucker
too
once
soon
has
over
been
there. You
sent
started too soon.
tornadoing off the track. Oh no, I think he's had enough. Yeah, he's just parking it on the side. Senna 46 and FIFA Kanak as well. Not even
Oh
making it.
no.
Ah, where are the DNF though? Hold on. Okay, I think. Oh no, FIFA Kanak. Yeah.
I think FIFA Connect might have been on the receiving end of some racing incidents, and we see cars are still jostling for space.
Oh,
Purra goes on the outside and he drifts and he holds on, and Baldy also that was Tarmac Law who almost took him out along with him, but somehow held on. So that's some good car control there, and I think we could see a potential lead. Oh, and they're almost 3 wide onto the entry there, and still cars are just jostling a position. It's happening all right here, and they're still not able to resolve this peacefully, I would say.
We saw Faizan there braking extremely deep, almost going running off the track because of braking so lately. As you can see, I think Purur of Goda is sticking close to the rear of Banat, and he's. I'm sorry, that's Starmax Lord. Oh, never mind. Faizan is going for a second.
Faizan sends it round the outside and he sticks it. He still got the outside line. Now it's becoming the inside line and he breaks late and blocks off. I think that's Baldy, who is now under attack from Banat, who is having the inside line, will have a better run through, and he's got to watch out, and he slightly goes off track. So, yeah, Baldy definitely got hard done there. And now his Endurance teammate, Starmax Lord, is having a look on the inside. Will he send it? Nope. Baldy just outbreaks himself. And yeah, oh, Banat is having it there.
Oh, it looked like Baldy outbroke himself, but he just played a trick on your minds because Baldy has made I think he's made 2 moves in a span of 3 corners with that single late braking maneuver. As Starmax Lord is coming under threat from a flying chapati, although he's managed to get away from him because of that, I think, higher top speed advantage. And yeah, a lot of incidents in the first few laps of this race.
Yeah, I mean, Banath, after making that move, I think he kind of got caught off guard by something that 500 because he did have a very, uncharacteristic mid corner movement there, which allowed Baldy to get the run on him. And now he's coming under increased pressure from Starmax Slot, who seems to have got the good exit, but the Audi is no slouch on the straights, and it is holding on for now. And will Starmax send it on the inside? Nope, he refrains because that was not a potential move. But he might have another look in this corner. It's a very good overtaking opportunity. Will he send it down the inside? He's pushing his car, but he just backs out at the last moment. And I think there was a little contact, but I think it's nothing much of consequence there.
Yep, it's fairly clean racing from the drivers here. Although I did see a few of them going completely off track in the F1 last corner. Keep forgetting what it's called. Excuse me for that. But yeah, the grid at the top three, meantime, has stayed the same. Version of the Panda, however, has made his. I think he's gained 3 positions because of the the drivers in front, like the likes of Brucker and I think FIFA kind of dropping out in that lap 1 incident. So yeah, managed to make the best out of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, we did notice Panda was extremely aggressive on the start. The moment the lights went green, he just slotted his car in the middle and made it 3 wide into the first corner, making his intentions very clear that he's going to be on the aggressive. And we see Starmax Lord is poking down the inside, and that might be a track cut. I'm not really sure, but he just hangs on to the inside line. This is not a corner where you want to be side by side through, and they go side by side, and they still stick it there, but Banath goes way too wide. And I would say, in hindsight, that's a good choice because Starmax was also going wide. So yeah, I think Banath took the track limits over getting collided. So a wise choice, I would say.
Well, if you guys were thinking that Banath just invented a new track layout, I think StarMax is also trying to replicate that, because I saw him going onto the green AstroTurf. I'm not sure if the game considers that kind of a move to be within track limits. What do you say, Deepak?
It was a bit of a sketchy track limits there, but it's still all fair and good. As you know, this game is both lenient and strict to track limits. Gives you 3 warnings, and the 4th one, it's gonna be a straight up drive through. No 3 seconds, no 5 second business. You just directly drive through. Off you go into the pit lane. So and we see Senna 46 making a very late move there. I think it was more circumstantial because the car up ahead was braking very early. So they're still side by side. Not resolved yet. He's sticking onto the outside, and Nirma just giving me just enough space, just enough for him to be there. And now wait, is that Aladdin? Yeah, he was having a look there.
That is
Yeah, he nearly.
Oh no,
no.
And it sends him flying. Not like Emola though, but it still sends him flying at the outside, and yeah. Yeah, he's all fallen at the back of the grid, and yeah, he has to crawl his way back up, I guess. Let's see how much he pushes and how much positions he gets after that.
Yeah, we are not going to heaven after that Senna joke, but anyway, moving on. So we still see the battle has not yet died down. Flying Chapati is putting more pressure on Starmax Lord. He seems to have gone wide. Now opens up the inside line for the McLaren to have a peek, and he takes the entire space over there. But Starmax Lord just shutting the door on the exit there with a superior Mercedes engine there. So yeah, it's all happening all around them.
Yeah, Mercedes engine clearly managed to be the better one in the straight there.
McLaren be like, oh, that's a very easy one over there. And I'll take that and I'll get to the next one over there, which is
Banath.
Yeah, which is
Banath with his Audi and the V10 engine that's screaming down the back straight. And Flying Chapati, has he got a good exit? I really don't think so, but he will be having a look. Decides to break a little
one
early.
car going wide, and Banath is going side by side. It's almost going to a 3 wide situation over there, and Starmax Lord just waiting for something to happen ahead, and Bal goes on the outside.
Oh, Starmax Lord is poking his in.
Oh, and there's 2 wide in 2 separate occasions over there. Oh, the McLaren just shoves Starmax Lord outside, and they're still side by side going on between Banath and Baldy, and Banath has gotten ahead of Baldy over there. There's been a lot of side by side maneuvers at the very same place by 4 cars in same occasion, and it's just going
Oh,
nuts from the front.
look at Starbucks Slot. He's outbroken
Oh,
himself and
nah,
he's
that's
taken
not.
himself out of the
This is
race.
not F1, bro. Come on. This is not how you go through it with it. Yeah, and he has spun around, and we don't know how many places he has lost, but that was not a move that we all wanted to see.
I was just about to say that was an interesting sequence of corners, nice racing there, and the interesting sequence of corners became even more interesting with Starmax sending it from miles behind and almost taking out his endurance teammate Baldy along the process. Seemed to be having a very good race so far. So yeah, that's going to be bitter disappointment there.
From Manchester all the way to Silverstone, that was a cent and a half from our Star Max Slot over here. Damn. I mean, we've witnessed this before in Nürburgring from a few drivers, but yeah, kind of didn't expect that to happen in here in Silverstone.
Yeah, well, sometimes it does happen when you're in the heat of the moment, when you're battling multiple cars. You often lose your cool and try to do something desperate, which does not end up well. And you see Aladdin trying to make a move on Simply Whitey, who was almost pushing him onto the grass, just give him just enough space. And they're just going through Magnussen and Beckett's, and the exit, it's going to be very crucial. The Nissan Nissan, although it is very good on the exit, Porsche can be beating it on acceleration. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. So let's see what happens.
Iceman's controller input's not helping him out at all, because you can see him slipping and sliding through all the corners as Iceman goes completely wide over there, gives Aldin a chance to make a move down the outside of this corner. But Aldin gets stabbed from the rear and also gets saved from spinning out by that blue Porsche. I don't know who that was.
That was the blue Aston Martin. I think the Supreme Kai. I don't know what he was thinking. He was just not sticking within the track limits there. Also, he was just overshooting that. But I think that inconsequentially helped Aladdin there from spinning out. So yeah, I think Aladdin will be thanking that extreme dive-bomb, I would say.
And I thought first race was very exciting. When we just started off with the second one in 10 minutes in, and we already saw so many incidents rounding up over here.
And we see two controller boys fighting out, but Swagger was a lap down. Yeah, he's a lap down. That's interesting. I don't know what happened to him, man.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did I see another car doing something?
This time you actually
one
did see a car.
One car went on full Jedi on some barrier, but yeah, ignoring that.
This is weird seeing a car lap down and
Swagger is 3 laps down. He's 3 laps down.
I guess he might have joined late and he's just doing it so that he could get something out of it. But yeah, anyway, it's the two controller boys going side by side, and they might want to be careful about it. Swagger don't want to be especially careful about it because he's blue flag right now, and he would not want to be impeding the cars and adding that to his incident list. And we almost see a drift there from that car. So I think they're really pushing it on the controllers.
I mean, it wasn't almost a drift, it was definitely a drift. But props to Swagger for actually managing to make the car stick there. And in spite of being 3 laps down, Swagger Turbo is not yielding at all, because he's still fighting for would you call it track position, or just to stay ahead? I don't know. But yeah, Swagger is still giving it a fight.
Oh
There
no!
we go.
There's a again right there. I think he's in the wrong game.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to desperately hold on so that he doesn't lose even more, because once you get blue flagged, it's just all the way down. And we see a car behind just missing the braking pad. I think that was Fuzzy Dunlop. Was it Fuzzy Dunlop? I think so. He just went
Yeah.
straight, and I think he tapped Mamo along the way. So yeah, people seem to be getting very anxious on the brakes now.
Yeah, that corner especially. Look at Aladdin.
Oh, that Porsche closing is so quick over there, but still managing to not hit him at the end as well. And there goes the three cars around together, and that is not a good one, especially one car being a back marker, and he's trying to crawl his way up, but he's just getting far behind as he tries.
I mean, blue flag cars are allowed to unlap themselves, but this is just a little too extreme. I feel like he was putting his car on the outside, trying to make the move, and that made it into an unnecessary 3-way situation, and it doesn't seem to be yielding it so far. So Yeah, that's going to be a very, very interesting outlook, and I don't know what the stewards are going to be thinking of that, but so far it looks a little bad on the Swagger Turbo side of things.
Yep, indeed. Swagger Turbo 3 laps down, and yeah, he's like you said. Even if they're allowed to unlap themselves and fight the cars in front, or the cars in the lead lap, which might be behind them. I think it's still a little too aggressive on Swagger
Yeah,
Turbo's part.
certainly it is. Certainly it is.
Yep, will probably be reported by the stewards to the stewards. But yeah, let's see what happens as he's still sticking it close to the diffuser. That
And Aladdin has made the move on Simply, I think, again. So they're both ahead and they're going side by side in slow and they're almost making contact. That looked very close for comfort there. But looks like once again Simply has gotten ahead of Aladdin. That's quite an interesting fight up ahead. And oh no!
Supreme Kai, what are you doing?
Of Aladdin over there, and this is again has gone
he's had enough.
ended very badly, and he just gave up midway through that and pitted. Yeah, not a good race for Aladdin as well. It's been docking down one by one, and everyone's just not willing to continue after so much brutality.
Yeah, Aladdin just threw in the towel there and was like, I'm done with this one now. But yeah, that was sad to see someone going out like that. But yeah, we do see a lot of drivers making a lot of mistakes in the braking zones, which we want to be very careful about. And we see once again a 5-car pack. This reminds me of something that happened in the last race. I hope that doesn't happen again. But we see 2 cars going side by side and oh no!
What
again.
What a jinx,
Again, a teamwork right there, and as Deepak said it, it just keeps going on and on and on. And yeah, it's again Baldy falling back way behind the McLaren continuing on, but we don't have any idea about how far they have damage and all. And yeah, this might have been impacting the performance. And yeah, this field has spread a lot, but it's not in a good way, I would say, so far right now.
Yeah, definitely not in a good way, but we still see some cars sticking close together, and we see Washing Powder, Nirma, Turbo Choke, and Baldy still scrapping it out. And it's quite nice to see Nirma still battling up ahead, considering that he is recovering from it. And
that Aston Martin doing drifts around maggots and beckets. This is the first time I'm seeing right there.
We are halfway through.
Yeah, that was well held though, so that could have ended really bad, but yeah, well held again. So.
Yep, as we back to this battle for I think P6. Bharat still I think having a very tough time. Trying to get the better of Faizan as FIFA Kanak now enters the fray and puts Banat puts a little bit of pressure on Banat as he almost goes into a drift through that F1 turn 1, but manages to keep it. Managed to make the car stick.
But this time he doesn't hit anyone.
Will he go around the outside? Can he make it stick? I don't really think so. Banat just squeezing him as much as he could. He is having the inside line now, but although Kanak will be having a better exit, he will be looking the inside for sure. Banat will be looking to cover it off. But what role will Faizan play in this? Now that's going to be an interesting one.
Well, definitely the role of an ally for FIFA Kanak, because he's Faizan is actually parking his car right in front of Banat, and wherever when you think that Banat has got the upper hand or the inside, he's got that huge blockade of that Aston Martin of Faizan in front of him, so he's got to brake a tad bit earlier, whereas FIFA Kanak, who's alongside him, doesn't have can take a little bit more liberty as Banat completely goes off track and off cops.
Could be a track limit warning. He's gonna have to be very careful about that. As we saw last race, Plucker gets a DT, and that really dropped him down a lot of positions. He's gonna be careful with track limits, and I think he's got a very bad exit now. FIFA Kanak's Lambo is looking very, very interested there. He's gonna position his car on the outside, but as we see, he will definitely try to look on the inside because that's a better line through this corner. And I think Bana just hangs on for now, just by the barest of margins.
Yep, he's been managing to hang on for I think maybe the last 3 or 4 laps, but yeah, good performance, good defense put on by Banat.
Yeah, good defense put up by Faizan as well. He has been holding up Banath for quite a long time. Even from way back, we saw that they were still going side by side, and that was not resolved yet. And FIFA Connect has now joined the fray, and he will definitely be banking on Faizan's trademark defense to get his move done.
Trademark defense indeed. But yeah, so far it's not been so trademark because I have not seen many. I mean, yeah, the defense has been there, but yeah, not the aggression that's usually accompanied with it. So far, so good from the driver in that gold Aston Martin, an unusual color for an Aston Martin. You know, not to you know.
Yeah, that is something that I think Aladdin used to prefer, purple chrome or golden chrome. But yeah, this is an interesting color choice, I would say.
Yep. Speaking of Aladdin, he's taking a break from the race. Well, not taking a break. He's just he's broken up with the race. Back into the pits after that squabble that he had. Well, not a squabble because it was actually a beat down because Supreme Kai, not just one but two incidents. He misjudged his braking point and completely went and hit Aldin, which again, you can only push at humans' limits so far before he decides to call it quits.
Yeah, that definitely did break him. So,
FIFA gonna goes wide over there, but
interesting lines.
Yeah, still hangs on. I mean, hasn't got a good exit from it, but even the Audi, the straight line speed has got a bit far off and going close to Faizan. I don't know if he's gonna get him towards the end of the race, but we'll see towards the end.
Yep, I mean that exit, it doesn't really lose you a lot of time if you go on the grass. It of course loses you some time, but it's not very much punishing as you might think. You could just straight line it through and not lose a lot of time. As he's already on the rear bumper of the Banath's Audi, so yeah, he's not letting him go anytime soon.
Well, where Banath finishes in the end of the race depends on how soon he manages to get the better of Faizan. Because Faizan's not only is he defending extremely well, but I think he's also got quite a bit of pace, as Banath makes a very costly mistake, as FIFA Kanak also think he could have made a little better of that situation, but yeah, tried to look for a cutback line, but ended up going extremely wide.
Yep, this is going to be very interesting because again the same situation.
Takes out Faizan
and very nearly collects FIFA Connect as well.
Yes, and Faizan has been doing well this whole time, but yes, that incident doesn't help at all, considering all that has been through with other drivers as well. And he falls back behind Star Max Lord, and yes, it might be a very disappointing time for him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that incident was coming because Faizan was, of course, braking a little bit earlier, which was putting Banath on the spot. And he did try to get around that by moving on to the inside, but that did not help. So, yeah, that could be another visit to the stewards. But as of now, Faizan, I mean, he hasn't lost a lot. He has lost like 2-3 positions, I would say. But yeah, so far Banath is still carrying on, and so is FIFA Kanak. He doesn't, like I said, he's not letting go of him that soon. He's got a lot of pace and he's gotten a good exit again. Will he be having a look into this door entry? Gotta see now.
Well, FIFA Kanak once again making a bunch of moves left and right to try and confuse Banath, and he looks like he's been successful in that. I don't know. The shadows were throwing me off a little bit as Banath attempts to make a move out defense down the inside as
that was almost a collection again right there.
Yep, Banath taking the Faizan strats in not Faizan strats anymore, because he's been putting on quite a bit of an aggressive show here.
That was a very sharp cut off there from Banath. He literally just shut the door, slammed on FIFA Connect's face. So yeah, that was shut. But I don't, again, like I said, FIFA Connect's got so much pace. I'm pretty sure he'll be back up to his bumper in no time. And you see another move. Faizan is making it around the outside of Starmax. He hangs it around and he's having the inside line. Now Starmax still has the outside. He will have the better switchback though. But I think he gets pushed too much wide. That's not gonna help him.
Good job from Faizan, who just fell back and already made up one place. But right now it's just either a matter of catching them or keeping up that place and not giving it to Starmax back again.
Yeah, well, as things stand, Purir of God and Worship the Panda are fighting it out. There's a pack of
Ocean as well.
3 drivers. So yeah, 3 drivers going fighting for that last podium step. As looks like Worship the Panda has made a mistake yet again. He's having quite a difficult time through that one corner alone, isn't he?
Yep, but so far it looks like he is just holding on to it, like positioning his car very well, and Purra goes off the track. That might be another warning on his tally, so he might be careful about that. And he's closing in on the brakes, so it's very bit close for comfort, but it just goes on for now. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's Panda's woes still seems to be continuing. He seems to be having quite a tough time handling that car through the exits, and we just see that Star Max Lord has got a DT, so yeah, his race is not really going well for him.
Yeah, Star Max Lot getting a DT. Although, I think Faizan has got that P3 in the AM class, in the silver class secured either way, because he's been having he has put out the pace, put on the pace here today in Silverstone. So yeah, props to him as well for that, and good show by him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's making the most of it right now, and considering there is some no-shows in silver, he's just making the most of it. And he's gonna have a solid haul of points right now after this. And of course, as you know, it's the higher you finish, the better points. It's not just the class; it's the overall. So considering that he's finishing P8 right now, it's gonna add a lot of points onto his tally. And we see Banath is going wide. He is almost hustled wide by FIFA Kanak, and he joins back. No damage done so far, but that would be definitely a bit of a offsetting moment for him.
Yeah, fine.
And we see he goes wide. FIFA Kanak has the inside line now, and now will he be able to cement the move here? Banath just has his nose inside just so that FIFA Kanak doesn't cut him off, and they are still going side by side. It's all done, and well, I'm not of words right now. They're still going side by side. They don't seem to be giving up either one, and certainly this corner should be splitting them apart. Who is going to stay up ahead, and Banath bails out of that one. That could be a wise choice, and FIFA goes right, and they're still side by side. It's still not resolved yet. Entry of Maggots, who's going to be ahead, and FIFA Kanak bails out this time. Good choice from FIFA Kanak and from Banath there.
Ooh, FIFA
Kanak is pushing quite a lot, and he almost went over the grass, and this car just didn't have that balance to keep up, and he has fallen back, and he has to try yet again, and there's only 5 minutes remaining, and he had got to get that move done very quickly.
Well, how many times have we seen this FIFA Kanak falling back, but within a few sectors he's already in the back of Banath's bumper. Let's see how long it takes this time around. So yeah, that was quite an interesting sequence of corners, and a very interesting racing action there.
Well, an observation that I would like to point out is that Banath, he's not been having the best of time in an overall driving, as far as an overall driving perspective is concerned. As you can see, he's going wide in every corner, literally. But FIFA Kanak, on the other hand, even if he's got the pace, has not been able to, go wheel to wheel with Banath and come out on top, because he's been making a lot of mistakes in such situations where he's side by side with Banath. So
it seems like Banath is placing his car at the right places and using the car's advantages at the right places. So seems to be helping him at this point. But like you said, FIFA Kanak has got excellent pace. He just needs to make use of the car's strengths in the right place at the right time, and he should be able to have a look. And we see this 3-car battle is still going on. It's not died on yet. It's still raging on till the end. And Purugod has made a mistake. He's gone off track, but no harm done, not a lot of damage. So he still rejoins back. And again, Panda making that another exit line. He's really not having a good time there, but somehow he still hangs on to P4.
Oh, what's going on here? I think these 2 drivers have had a bit of a collision.
Oh, that's Baldy and Nirma. Don't know what happened there, but looks like both of them had a very bad incident there on the entry to Brooklands.
Yeah, it looks like they have, probably took the phrase break a leg way too seriously.
Man, we are not going to heaven for this.
Yeah.
All right, and we see time and time again FIFA Kanak has once again caught up to Banath. He's sending it down the inside. Will he make a convincing send? I don't think so. He's leaving too much space. Gonna could have been a bit more convincing with his attack, but he just hangs on around the outside, and Banath is unable to shut him off because he still has a nose ahead. So, yeah, good hold on from there from Banath.
We still have about we still have just 2 laps of 2 laps of racing left, and yeah, FIFA Connect has to go for a send sooner or later. I mean, I don't think I don't see any other way where he can make the better of Faizan. Banat. Right? I don't know why I keep saying Faizan every now and then, probably because his name is just next to him.
Now FIFA Connect is setting up a switchback here. Although Lamborghini is known to have a slightly nerfed top speed compared to the Audi, so it might not be that much of a favor. As we see, Banath had already got the better line there, the cutback line really not working there. So he's gonna have to be having another chance in store entry or maybe in the entry of the loop section. That seems to be his only choice right now.
Yep. FIFA Connect does not have enough time. He's got a minute, 1.5 minutes once again. Almost goes off track there. I think he's had to make that last second maneuver to maybe avoid another warning which could result in a drive through, because that was a little bit of a desperate last minute maneuver. I think he's running on the limit in terms of track.
Yep, they're running on the extreme limits, trying to find whatever they could to hang on to whatever position that they are in, because as I said before, it's based on where you finish and not based on the class. So the higher you finish, the more points you get. Simple as that. Which means that even more incentive for Banath to hold on, because he has been, I think he didn't show for a few races, so he'll definitely be trying to maximize the points for that he could make out of this one.
Yep, it's as it stands, Banath will finish P2 in the silver class. So, and I mean P6 in the overall standings as well. So that's actually quite a decent finish, as FIFA Connect makes yet another mistake, and Banath, Davlish has started the final lap of this race. The last lap for everybody, the last chance for FIFA Connect to make something out of this battle that he's been having with that Audi for almost half of the race, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, we could almost say those sister cars because head components, the engine is the same, but very different characteristics on both the cars, and they're clearly not able to make the most out of it. And you see both the Porsches just fighting out neck and neck, and Panda is very close to Oshan. This is going to be a very interesting finish to the race, I think so.
Yeah, Worship the Panda has to, stay away again. Just as I was just about to say that, Worship the Panda just has to keep away from making the same mistake he's been doing since the last race itself through Beckett's. But it looks like he's managed to take a fairly safer line to keep his car on the track this time, but completely goes wide there, as even Oshan goes wide briefly, but he still managed to keep his car on track. The status quo still remains through club, as Pururav got on that Bentley, inches extremely close. Worship the Panda sliding all over the place. He's having a really tough time keeping the car on the track, while Pururav Gowda is hounding him completely.
Yeah, that Bentley got very uncomfortably huge in that rear view mirror. Almost, I'm pretty sure it caught even Panda off guard there. That was really a scary moment. But seems to have been spaced out for now. I really don't think it might happen. But if it happens, that's going to be one heck of a finish, I would say. And we see Dowley just rolls on to take yet another race win in an absolutely dominating fashion, almost 11 seconds ahead of the next car. So, but that's not where the interesting stuff is at. We see the podium battle. I think we could say the podium battle is resolved right now, because I don't see move being done right now. As we see, Cyprus takes the line, crosses in P2, and right behind, I think we have. Oh, that almost got very close for comfort there. And we have Ocean crossing line in P3 and Panda in P4, followed by Bentley of Pururav Gowda in P5. Yeah, good race by these guys. They have been battling throughout the entire race, three together, and that That has you were quite a round of applause.
Oh,
Yep.
and there's a McLaren spinning off out of nowhere. I don't know how that came through. But yes, there's flying chapati going off the track and hitting the barrier. And yes, I don't know how much damage he has, but let's see if he can hold off a little bit.
Behind Nirma and Baldy are also having quite a scrap. I just saw them going side by side through the loop section, and I think Nirma just made the most out of it at the last moment there.
Yeah, but Baldy is still sticking behind him and just making sure that he makes one final mistake towards the end. But let's see if Nirma can actually hold on to it and not.
He does. He does. He just holds on.
Yes,
So
on to the last corner. And oh, there's a side by side action going on between
Tarmac slot and Simply YT there.
YT there with the livery we guys.
Still side by side. That's not done yet. They're still side by side. Could you cut back to that, please? Thanks. That was why.
Okay, one car just went off. Starmax Lord going side by side. There's a Aston Martin right behind, waiting for these two to collide eventually. Hopefully, I don't.
Hopefully, indeed.
Right, and must the Starmax slot goes round and he almost opens the inside and Simply almost had a bit of a look there, but that was not happening. So Starmax slot crosses the line P14, Iceman, Simply Whiting P15, and Fuzzy Journal across the line P16, and that is the end of this race. So yeah, quite interesting. A lot of incidents, a lot of stuff to dissect. So I'm pretty sure stewards are going to have their hands full this week.
Well, the stewards, including, I think, including you, would have a lot of work cut out for you. So, yeah, quite an eventful race that we've had so far.
All right, so let's go through the final standing, shall we?
Yep, Davlish finishing in the top step of the podium for 2 races in a row. It's been kind of like it's kind of been the tradition for the last I don't know how many seasons. He takes the win yet again here in Silverstone, followed by Sai Prithvi in P2. Oshan takes P3 and a silver class win as well as an overall P3. So yeah, good finishing position for him. Worship the Panda and the Porsche takes P4 after surviving a valiant assault by Purar of Gauda in P5. Banat takes P6 and Faizan takes P7. Oh, surprising to see FIFA Kanak has dropped down to P8. I think he made yet another mistake.
There is definitely something we missed out there. FIFA Kanak has dropped a position to Faizan. So interesting recovery. So Faizan has not lost a lot of points there. So he finishes in P7 and Flying Chapati in P9 behind FIFA Kanak. And Nirma finishes P10, which is quite very applaudable effort considering that he's in AM class and is recovering from an injury. So good showing from him. And Baldy, of course, he'll be very disappointed with that race. He had a lot of potential, but that incident really put him back. So he's going to be very disappointed. But again, a lot of positive takeaways for him from this week.
Well,
and
one more thing to point out. I don't know if you had mentioned it earlier, but I mean, did you notice that Nirma took the AM class win?
Yep, I did.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just busy looking at the leaderboards, and yeah, I completely missed out on that.
Yep. Like I said, a very valiant effort considering that he's just recovering from a very bad bike accident. So yeah, wishing a speedy recovery and yep, good showing overall, I would say.
Maybe we can wish him in person. While we pull the winners of all the respective classes as well as the overall podium finishers into the comp box. Just give us a moment.
So we have the winners of 2 classes right now with us, Davlish and Nirma. I think we are waiting for one more. And hello SJ, how's it going? I saw the race was really nice.
Hello, SD. Long time. No here, no see.
Yep. We're waiting for one more person, and I think then we should get going with the interviews.
Yes, it's Oshan, and I can't seem to find him in any of the VCs, so yeah, might have to ping him to get him on board.
Let's wait for 30 seconds. If he responds, then otherwise we can just start. All right, so let's get it started. We have waited enough. So we have our pro class winner, the Davlish, as usual. He's making a good habit of winning the entire season. So, hi Davlish, how was your race?
IST, so yeah, pretty boring race as usual. Not a lot to go on. I actually didn't have any plans to race today. I was sort of thinking of skipping today's race, but yeah, didn't have much else to do, so just.
I would like to know what made you change your mind. What made you change your mind?
As I said, not much to do in life, so just came and raced. Got free from work, and just decided I'd put in some few hours of practice and just go.
So, Rakesh, what are your thoughts on your arch nemesis coming back into the fray next weekend?
Yeah, looking forward to it, definitely. Very excited by that.
A bigger discount, you would have had a chance to see him today itself. Hey, congratulations on the win. Yeah.
Thank you.
Moving
on. While a couple is sitting 5 kilometers away from the mic, I think I will take over for the podium interviews, unless Kapil decides he wants to come closer. Kapil?
All right,
Probably there are a lot of people sitting in his room, so.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah,
anyway, let's move on.
They're having a great time, actually. Yeah, moving on to our P2 finisher for the day, Sai Prithvi. Pretty eventful first race, not so eventful in the second race. So yeah, just talk us through your bit of the experience.
Well, both races relatively went well. This was probably my weakest qualifying in the season so far. I was very uncomfortable with the setup, also with race 1 as well. I couldn't practice as much. I actually had to do a race in AC before joining this one. So it was a little bit tricky getting used to the sim once again this quickly. But race 2, somehow the setup I was using felt much quicker, much better. I felt like the first 10-15 minutes I could do pretty well with my pace, but the remaining 15 minutes I had a lot more tire wear and I had to manage that instead. But otherwise, yeah, pretty good race. I would say I've done pretty well considering I had to do another race earlier. I'm happy, yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe it turned into a kind of like a routine drive practice session for you towards the second race. But apart from that, congratulations on getting P2 overall as well as in pro class. Good haul of points that you're taking away today. Moving on to our man of the hour, if you ask me, to be honest, and washing powder Nirma. Oh man, I have no words. In spite of all the setbacks that you have had in this today, and you've managed to finish P1 in AM class. I am utterly speechless.
Thank you. I mean, I'm pretty surprised I got back up to pace considering I had a 6 month hiatus and a very unfortunate thingy. in that 6-month hiatus. It was fun. It was a good race. I had fun.
Yep, we also noticed that you had a few incidents. Not. I wouldn't say incidents. Incidents would be an overstatement, but yeah, you had a few battles with some of the. I think a battle through the by the end. I think with a flying chapati, if I'm not wrong, where you both ended up, spinning out.
No, it was Baldy. Baldy was
Baldy.
attacking Flying Chapati and I was attacking Baldy. I think what might have happened was Baldy. Correction. Flying Chapati broke probably a tad bit earlier than Baldy would have expected. Baldy then breaks earlier. I didn't expect that, so I just kissed Baldy's bumper, which makes him spin. Honestly, I felt bad, so I just stopped for Baldy to get back on track because I knew that both of us had the same pace, so it would be unfair for me to just go flying past him when I took him out. So I just waited for him to straighten up, and then we went back to racing.
Well, yeah, quite unfortunate that I couldn't catch that on camera, but yeah, what I did catch on camera though was your pink as hell livery. To be honest, kind of expected that from you, but I expected something like last season. What you did with your livery, Nirma. When is that coming?
I don't know. So I used today's race to see if my left knee can actually take the strain of racing for almost an hour, 50 minutes to be more specific. I think I can in the current conditions, so I might make a livery for next race.
I think you went through a lot, and I think you can say it's fair to say that you stood really well among your field, right?
I think I have. I mean, I was running default aggressive. I didn't go in with a lot of practice. I think I did pretty well. I'm happy with my.
I mean, how did you feel that? I mean, did you ever think throughout the race that you had the legs to endure the entire race?
By 20 minutes into the race, I honestly wanted to just return back to garage and just end the race. My knee couldn't take it. But I just, looking at P11 and 2 cars in front of me, I just soldiered on, honestly.
Well, Nirma, after a long time away from the sim racing community, it's great to see you put a leg onto the podium again.
Thank you for that fun, SSJ. I missed the sim racing world, honestly. I just missed the sim racing world. It was a long time coming.
That wasn't SSJ. I know Eitzel and I sound very alike, very much alike.
Oh my god.
But yeah, not the first time we're having this confusion anyway. But yeah, we really hope that this run of yours continues for a very long time.
Grazie ragazzi, tutti mille. Grande McLaren.
We hope to see you up and running for next race.
I'll let my physiotherapist know about that.
Yeah, we've pulled your leg for enough. Let's move to, I think, the last person to be interviewed today. Shan 7. We've got so many Shans, I've totally lost count. I'll just call you by your Discord name, Baby Gangster. My God, what a defense that you put. I think throughout both races, in fact. Who are you again, Shan or Oshan? Shan 7 or Oshan?
Oshan. This is Oshan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So brilliant drive from you, Oshan. Talk us through your races.
Yeah, it was Silverstone is actually one of my favorite tracks. Even in iRacing, I used to enjoy racing in that. I mean, it's just flowing corners. That's what I like, and it's all about braking late. So I felt that I was really good at braking later against anyone and everyone, at least who I was fighting against. I mean, Davlish and Sai are totally in a different league, I think. But after, I think, about 10 minutes for both races, I felt that I was losing tyre performance. So it was all about defense after that. So yeah, it's just one corner. I think I drifted really wide, and after that there was nothing left. I was just defending throughout. Like it was just defending, and then I think Goda jumped in the fight, and then he saved me kind of, because then the pressure was off me for quite some time.
Well, yeah, let's also not forget that amazing battle that you had with Prakhar in race 1. which unfortunately had to end on a slightly sour note because of that incident in, I think, club.
Yeah.
Probably stewards will have a look at it if it is reported, of course. But aside from
Yeah.
that, yeah, a brilliant drive and amazing defense that you put out today. Congratulations on that P3 overall and your silver class win.
Thank you.
Yep. So that ends our podium interviews for this race. Pretty exciting race, if you ask me. Unlike, this this season has been delivering so far. 30 drivers, 25 drivers on average attending most of our races. So yeah, good mix up of drivers throughout the grid. What are your thoughts on that? Whoever's on the comm box, on the mic on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely, SJ. All of us here are in concurrence in agreeing with you there. But yeah, I think that was an entertaining race. We all definitely enjoyed it, and we had fun commentating over it as well. And I think with that, we're coming to the end of today's broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to all the podium finishers and all their respective classes once again. It was nice to watch everyone go around Silverstone. We'll be back later this weekend with F1 action. Hopefully, we'll be resuming the calendar this weekend. Yeah, all our socials are available on your screen right now. We're available across Instagram, Twitter, and Discord, as well as all the links in the description. So yeah, do make sure to join IRC, join the fun, because everybody seems to be having a good time. So yeah, that's it from us tonight, I think, SSJ.
Yeah, the ACC fun action is over, but I think you guys still have a long night ahead of you, and I will leave you to it. And I hope you enjoy it and have a good one. And for the viewers as well, hope you all have a good one too. So this is Sir SSD Assassin, and for my co-commentators, plural, signing off. Good night.